The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
RMA of New Jersey Fertility Center is committed to helping you build your family with evidence-based fertility care and a compassionate care team that's with you every step of the way.
You know, when we get to hear the heartbeat at their first ultrasound, it makes me feel humbled every single day that I get to play a small part in that journey.
Our fertility specialists and birth success rates have helped bring home healthy babies to loving families around the world. RMA of New Jersey Fertility Center, building families one healthy baby at a time. Visit rmanetwork.com.
Con Prime recibes bombillas en un día. Edison estaría orgulloso.
Orgullosísimo.
Recibe rápido los esenciales diarios. Prime lo cambia todo.
There's never been a better time to find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Download the BetMGM app and place a $10 moneyline wager on any NBA playoff game. If either team hits a three-pointer in the game, you'll win $200 in free bets. Just use code JERSEY200 when you make your first bet. Sign up now and discover BetMGM's daily promotions, innovative parlay selection features, boosted odds specials, and more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code Jersey200 to win $200 in free bets if either team hits a three in any NBA playoff game. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. New Jersey only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Core Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
Here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron.
Hi. Welcome back.
We're the Weedsmen.
Yes.
Welcome back to another edition, another spring edition where it finally feels like spring.
Yeah. Nothing special this week. No Easter, no 420, no, I don't know, just regular old spring.
Yeah, finally get spring before spring is over.
Right.
Get a little bit of it.
But to be fair, spring is only a month old, month-ish.
Really? It feels like it's been longer.
Right? It snowed last week.
Oh, it was like within the course of like 3 or 4 days, it went from snow on the ground to 80-degree weather.
Yeah. On Monday it was snowing. On Saturday it was almost 80. Michigan. For those of you who don't live around here, that's what happens. This time of year,
or the Midwest in general.
In October, April and October, that's how it goes down.
So you see, Netflix lost a bunch of subscribers.
Yeah, I was one of them. I never told you. I finally pulled the trigger.
Yeah,
it was just like
I'm telling you.
The dust settled on all my, my refi and everything, and I got everything paid off, and just was going through and, doing the final trim on the expenses, and just Netflix, deuces. I couldn't even tell you the last time I opened up Netflix.
It's garbage lately. It's been going downhill, and. I was saying, 6 months ago on this podcast, if Netflix doesn't do something different, they're going to be in big trouble. And here we are. They lost 200,000 customers in the first 3 months of this year.
And they are 2 years removed from, their biggest year ever.
Yeah. That's a pretty big roller coaster ride for that company.
Whoever's in charge needs to not be in charge.
Yeah. It just comes down to programming, Sure, everybody is going, now that they've announced the final season of Stranger Things, everybody's going to get a Netflix subscription or borrow somebody's for a month, binge it all, and then kill it again because there's nothing else to watch. They also announced, one of the things that Netflix was actually doing really well was taking some chances on some crazier animation. And, they just kind of dropped the ball on that and now decided that they're going to be out of the animation game. I have a feeling that their focus is going to be on basically replacing all the shows that came with your basic cable package and just have it be a dump of raw numbers of like, we have X amount of different shows about, people operating on your pets and redoing somebody's house or selling property or finding junk somewhere or losing weight, all the reality program, all the shit programming that is all over basic cable. I think that's what Netflix wants to be ultimately. I think they've given up on trying to be original and pushing boundaries.
Well, that's because that's what everyone else has become. Right? I mean, isn't that what Paramount Plus is? Isn't that what Peacock is? Isn't that what HBO Max? I mean, shit is a relative term here.
No, I don't think so. I think that Peacock, they're doing some interesting things, but I think they're actually...
Well, they're hybrid with like live programming too, right? Because they got the NBC.
It is a little different,
brand on their side, or the NBC umbrella.
But I do feel like Netflix, that NBC has a brand, especially when it comes to comedy, and they're continuing that with their original programming for their app.
And Netflix they're
leaning
Oscars?
On their strengths. Yeah. Well, sorry, Coda was Apple TV, and that was the first streamer to win Best Picture. But yes, Netflix has definitely had award-winning pictures.
They've won Oscar. Hold on, I want to make sure. Well, they've at least been nominated for Academy Awards. They've won Emmys.
Yeah.
Come on. It's
but
not
based
like
on
you
what,
don't have
right? See, here's the thing. Like, Netflix was just acquiring so much shit that was just, by the numbers, they were bound to bump into some Oscar-worthy material. They didn't seek out those movies that won awards. Those were movies that were being shopped around, and Netflix says, yeah, we want to do that. But if it was a more focused, like if they're actually, again, it's just programming. I don't want to just repeat myself, but that's really what it comes down to. There's like HBO and Peacock. I can't agree with you there. I see actual programming going on. There's the stuff that's coming out of Apple lately has been really fantastic. And Netflix is still trying to just do the shotgun method, and the shotgun method certainly worked well when they were one of the only games in town. And when even when they weren't the only game in town, but everybody was trying to figure out exactly what the game was, the shotgun method worked really well. It helped them continue to grow at an exponential rate. But at a certain point, you've got to narrow that focus. And you've got to start honing in your sights to further my metaphor. You got to get a fucking sniper in there and figure out where your audience is and how to kill them with those good shows. Because they're not just going to hang around because you've got X number of shows. Nobody cares how many shows you have, right? And think about like all the, for decades now, we've had this pushback against the dearth of programming that's on cable television. The Boss wrote his shittiest song about it. And how many channels did he say were on at the time? 57?
57? What, you only got, what are you, broke, boss?
Yeah. It's 57 channels and nothing on it. It just the channels got more, but the amount of something on didn't. And, Netflix is just the continuation of that. There's news that they're looking at an ad-based platform as well.
Oh, you mean like TV?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if that's going to save them unless those ads really get that price down. There's way too much competition right now. I mean, look at CNN Plus.
1 month.
Not even.
1 whole month.
3 weeks before they pulled the plug, they're operating for a full month because that's what, they were contracted for, essentially. But yeah, 3 weeks into it, nope, we need to pull this.
It's a great product you got there. See, how the mighty have fallen. I mean, the fact that Joe Rogan outdraws anybody on cable news that should be telling people who program things something.
Right. What I think it was. It was on Adam Carolla's show. He was interviewing Henry Winkler.
Cool.
And he said Happy Days at its peak got like a 48 share.
Yeah.
48 share.
Yeah. When the country had 100 million less people.
Yeah. I mean, still that's insane. If you get a tenth of that these days, you would be considered a wild success.
Well, yeah, they would.
The biggest thing on network television.
They would be signing you to multi-year deals, backing.
They'd be locking your ass
trucks.
down.
Yeah.
If you could get like just a hair under 5% of television watchers to watch your thing, that would be huge.
Hey, by the way, real quick.
Yeah.
Glad you brought that up. Is Henry Winkler real? Is he a real person?
Is he real? Yeah, I've never heard him do an interview where he wasn't like the most gracious and earnest person that you've ever heard. And you wonder if it's like an Eddie Haskell thing, right?
Not even that. It's just like, wow. Like it feels like you're talking to a character. Like you're just so nice. It can't be real.
Yep.
Like,
and but he constantly proves that it's real too. Like he remembers shit, right? Mm-hmm. Like in that interview with Adam Carolla, he's like, "Yeah, I remember meeting you at this place, and we did that." Like he just seems like he's the nicest person in Hollywood. I was trying to explain to my youngest the other day what the Fonz was.
Hey,
there's a guy on a sitcom, and he wore a leather jacket. But only when his motorcycle was around.
Yeah.
and
he could fix a jukebox just by hitting it.
That's what I had. I was like, he had a leather jacket and motorcycle, he had his hair slicked back, and he could kick the jukebox and make it play his song.
And even though it was the most G-rated TV show in the world, he got tons of ass.
Triplets.
Yeah,
he
dude.
He dated triplets on that show.
Yeah, dude. The Fonz got tons of pussy. You heard it here first, people. We're saying it like that.
And all out of by a dude that's like shorter than me.
Hey, man. It's all about personality, right?
Yeah.
The Fonz is about.
I was just watching him in Barry. He's in they have the third season just dropped. The premiere did.
Yeah, dude, that's your show.
That is my show.
Is it still great?
I'm so excited. Well, the third up, that first episode of the season did suck me in by the end of it. I think like any show, it's been gone for a while and you have good memories of it and you're like, is this still the same show? But by the end of that episode, I was like, oh, fuck, let's go. What are we doing?
I want to get into that show so bad. But just the violence is a deterrent for me. Just 'cause I can't watch realistic violence.
That's the thing is it doesn't really come off like movie violence per se, like the way that they do it.
That's the thing. I need movie. That's how I can watch violence. Movie violence.
It's a little too real and it's usually out of the blue. Like you don't have music cues to like position you for like somebody might get shot here.
I need like Wile E. Coyote riding on a rocket violence.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
Like the end of True Lies when Schwarzenegger shoots the guy in a missile in his backpack. That's what I need. That's the violence I can watch. I can even watch Pulp Fiction, right? Because it's cartoonish in a way.
I was going to say Pulp Fiction. For some reason, I almost said not like Pulp Fiction violence. Because Pulp Fiction, it's violent, but it's very, very cartoony.
Except Marvin getting shot in the face. I still can't watch that.
Yeah, but at least
twice.
At least that's like quick.
Oh, I accidentally shot Marvin in the. I mean, I could watch the aftermath of it, but him actually getting shot in the face,
right?
I just can't watch it.
Now, I think I love the show, and I've just fallen in love with what's his name as an actor,
Bill Hader.
Yeah, Bill Hader.
I wonder if he's still the head writer for South Park.
How long was he that?
Oh, I mean. When they made the movie about, 6 Days to Air, he was the head writer then, but that was, fucking a dozen plus years ago?
Yeah.
I think he was still SNL cast member when he was head writer for South Park.
I'm looking at his wiki and not seeing it in there. Let's see. Creative consultant and producer on South Park beginning in 12th season.
So maybe not head writer.
I was going to say, that's a pretty big job. But yeah, creative consultant and producer, I can see that. That would still allow you to take some acting gigs. Like head writer for a show that, like, with that kind of production schedule and that many seasons, that's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
That's what Liz Lemon led us to believe.
Hey, but you can have it all, right?
You can't. It's a lie.
Yeah, that was a lesson that Liz Lemon learned in that show. Yeah. Well, hopefully somebody will pick it up. But one of the shows that got canceled from Netflix, both I'm sure influenced by their loss of subscribers and their general lack of success when it comes to animation shows, they scrapped what was supposed to be the third attempt at bringing Bone to the screen.
Bone, like Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Like Bone, do you know? Bone is like, I don't even know what Bone is. Bone is like a little aardvark, I think. But it's basically, Bone was a, American independently published graphic novel series written and illustrated by Jeff Smith. Originally serialized in 55 irregularly released issues from 91 to 2004. It was all black and white. And it was basically a parody of, well, I don't know. Scratch that. I don't know if it was a parody or not. I haven't really read it. My Bone knowledge is secondhand.
I know there's Lazy Bone and Crazy Bone. It's the only two Bone Thugs I know.
But it's like huge in even outside of comics. Like the collections sell to this day through Scholastic in huge numbers. Surprising that nobody can get this made. But there was a comic that Jeff Smith, the creator and artist and writer of Bone, put up, and it's done in the style of Charlie Brown kicking the football, right? So, you know, it's always Lucy's got the football, she's got her finger on it, ready for him to kick, and then yanks it away at the last second. And so one of those is, hello, I'm Nickelodeon, I want to make an animated Bone movie. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's make a movie. And then it gets yanked out at the last second. And then it's Warner Brothers says the same thing. And then it's Netflix says the same thing. And he's like, streaming is a whole new thing. It'll be different this time.
Man, he's got to be discouraged.
Yeah, hopefully, I don't know how this works with comics, but hopefully he's getting that shit optioned for some good money. If they're tying up his IP, hopefully he's getting some good mailbox money out of it.
Yeah, here's some money to stay put and not do anything.
Yeah.
And not sell it.
I would imagine, Netflix would probably have to pay him something. Certainly I'm sure he got something out of them just developing it, you know. But they would have to also pay him something to basically not compete, not shop his thing around somewhere else.
In the climate we're in, pay me to not make it myself.
Well, animated, that's still one thing that you really can't do independently. It just takes too many man hours to produce animation. Especially if you want to do a whole series or a movie or something, that's a lot of work.
Send it to Korea. Isn't that what you do now?
Yep. No, well, that's what Netflix would do. Or, not even Korea. I think like India these days is where a lot of animation goes. Middle East too.
Boneville. Taking her to Boneville.
And that CNN Plus thing, I was kind of puzzled how they would make a decision that quickly.
What were they trying to do? What was it supposed to be?
Well, that's yeah.
If people don't want regular CNN, you're going to offer them extra CNN? Like, the ratings don't lie.
It was kind of funny because, my girlfriend it was in a similar situation that you had, was only really had cable just so that she could watch news. And was ready to cancel that, and she's like, I can just get the CNN Plus app. I hadn't heard of it, and so she couldn't get it on her TV, and I was trying to figure it out for her. I'm like, well, let me download it on my phone and see how this works. I couldn't find it to download either. So I downloaded the regular CNN app, and then it had things for CNN Plus on there, and I'm like, what is this? What is CNN Plus even? Because it doesn't look like you can watch any of the regular programming on here. And from the information on the app, I found that it's additional programming. Like, you can't watch Wolf Blitzer's show, but Wolf Blitzer has a separate show for CNN Plus. How do they fucking think that was going to work?
Like, ESPN has it too. And
you can't watch the main show on your app? You're useless.
And they've had it for a while. And yeah, and there's like a couple shows that are on there now that I used to watch, and they're on there. And they're, well, fuck you. Now I don't watch it. I'm not paying you extra.
Yeah, well, so then she Google searched it. And she's like, they canceled it. They just today announced that they're canceling the service. That's why we can't find it.
What did 10 people sign up?
10,000 viewers at any given time was the stat that they gave out.
Is that too low for the?
I'm guessing
CNN?
that's not even a blip on the radar. It says here, fewer than 10,000 viewers watching at any given time, despite a multi-million-dollar ad campaign and big hires like Chris Wallace.
Well, again, do you not know the ratings for your quote-unquote free CNN? What were you expecting?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they do know their ratings, and I'm sure that I'm sure it's nothing compared to what they actually get in broadcast. But because of all the contracts that they have signed with Time Warner and Charter and WOW and all the different cable providers across the nation, all that programming's tied up. They can't just say, "Oh, we'll just open an app and just send our news feed over to it." That would be breaking non-compete clauses that they have with their current cable providers. Which means that if you wanted the full CNN experience, right, you'd have to subscribe to cable to get it, and then pay more money for an app because you're a super fan?
Yeah,
because that Chris Wallace makes you moist?
I would do that for shit I like.
Right. I watched most of The Walking Dead. You know what I never watched? The show that came on after The Walking Dead. That talked about the show that I just watched.
You didn't watch Talking Dead?
I did not watch The Talking Dead. And that was free and came on right after. All I had to do was leave the TV on.
Yeah, minimal effort.
And I'm not going to watch it.
No effort.
I'm
not
definitely
even minimal. No effort.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep watching.
Yeah, and at $6 a month, and you're not going to give me the regular news?
I don't pay for extra TV if I'm already paying for the TV.
Well, where are they broadcasting all this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard shit? It seems like everywhere.
I don't know.
I didn't watch any of it, or it's still ongoing.
Fecal delivery? Have you seen that in the transcripts?
What?
Oh, yeah. With the dump in the bed. That was how Johnny described it.
Excuse me, sir. Got a fecal delivery here for you. Says from your wife.
Fecal delivery.
Fecal delivery.
Wish I had the music for Mr. Rogers and they had speedy delivery.
Yeah, the speedy fecal delivery service. What? In reference to what? Her asshole? What?
I think he was just talking about finding the turd in the bed.
Yeah, I don't get why all this is being broadcast. Why are they televising their divorce proceedings?
Fecal delivery. Fecal delivery. No, they're not even getting divorced.
Well, what is this about then?
This is him. It's him suing her for. It's not the defamation of character. He lost that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is the Google machine?
It says a New York Post is calling this a defamation trial. So this is basic. Well, but if your goal is to sue your ex-wife because she won't stop talking shit about you.
Yeah, it says defamation case. Okay.
Then how is this helping?
I don't know.
Maybe you get to tell your side of the story, but I mean, you think anybody's going to come away from this thinking that Amber Heard's evil and Johnny Depp's okay? Or do you think that they'll just write it all off and say those two are crazy?
I don't know. He's got to really, this is like a fuck me money case, right? He's got to be really steadfast in his beliefs or just thinking everything that she said about him is bullshit.
Yeah, which, I don't know. If you're an alcoholic, like some claim he is, then it might not be the best path for you.
But she also doesn't sound great either.
Oh, no, neither of them sound great. I don't know. What's your take on Depp in general, though? Has he impressed you as an actor in anything?
I thought he was the man up until he started doing them Pirates movies.
Yeah.
Dude,
because he was doing
that movie
Fear and Loathing,
great.
Blow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 90s for Johnny Depp was prime fucking time. Benny and June.
Oh, Benny and June is great.
I mean, just Fear and Loathing. Just so many one-liners from that movie.
Edward
Scissorhands.
I forget about him even being in that movie because, like, I just see Edward Scissorhands. Yeah, Benny and June, What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Ed Wood. These are all great movies. Dead Man. I love Dead Man.
Oh, God.
Donnie Brasco.
Yeah.
Ninth Gate. Astronaut's Wife. Oh, okay. So, like, getting into the 2000s. Like, that's 99. So then he does Blow in 2001. He's back on track. From Hell. That wasn't great. And then it's like Pirates.
Didn't he
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and a bunch of shit that nobody saw. Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, it's all, everything that he's done since 2000 with Disney and with, what's his nuts? The Edward Scissorhands director. All those have been shit. Lone Ranger. That was a wet fart of a movie.
Oh, yeah. He was Tano.
Yeah. Another Alice movie. The Fantastic Beasts movies. Garbage.
He had to leave those movies because of Amber Heard.
I was really looking through this. Like, what in the last 22 years? Well, I guess let's say 20 years because Blow is 20 years ago. Since Blow, almost nothing. But Black Mass was pretty good.
He wrote them Disney paychecks for a minute, and then he got in that Harry Potter money for a minute.
Maybe that's it. I mean, like, yeah, as soon as he started getting into the franchises, like, he really stopped doing interesting work.
Well, if you look at the franchises line up with him kind of like dying off as a sex symbol, right? Like, well,
really?
20-year-olds don't want to fuck me anymore. Let's
okay.
take some of that. Guess we'll start doing these kids movies.
Well, I mean, that is a smart move if you're just talking about career and making money. Yeah, that's the right pivot. He was in the video for It's a Shame About Ray.
Sounds about right.
Wonder who else is in that video. Was it for a movie or something? That was never in a... Yeah.
Oh, remember too, he was in the Johnny Depp video.
The cast is Lemonheads and Johnny Depp as Man.
He was into The Great Wide Open. He was in that video.
Oh, yeah.
That song comes up a lot on my fucking...
That was at the, the 90s.
Music.
90s were the period where all you had to do is, like, put Depp on it, and it was instantly cool.
And all because of 21 Jump Street. That's how we know who Johnny Depp is. That's where he came from.
Yeah, before that,
it was him and Richard
some
Grieco.
Shit that nobody saw.
Think Depp won that one.
You know what his first big break was, but he never really got any work off of it because it was a small role. He was in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, at least in 1984.
What as kid number one?
No, he had first and last name as a character. It was big enough, but it was
getting that SAG money.
It was a small role because really that first movie is the female lead. It's all about her and Freddie. Everybody else is kind of... I think he was the boyfriend to her.
Fecal delivery.
Why was there a slide whistle over that?
Who knows?
The Weedsman Podcast.
ChristopherMedia.net. RMA of New Jersey Fertility Center is committed to helping you build your family with evidence-based fertility care and a compassionate care team that's with you every step of the way.
When we get to hear the heartbeat at their first ultrasound, it makes me feel humbled every single day that I get to play a small part in that journey.
Our fertility specialists and birth success rates have helped bring home healthy babies to loving families around the world. RMA of New Jersey Fertility Center, building families one healthy baby at a time. Visit RMAnetwork.com.
BetMGM is pitching baseball fans a chance to swing for the fences. Register using code Jersey200 and win $200 in free bets when you place a $10 moneyline wager on any Major League Baseball game and either team hits a home run, regardless of your bet's outcome. Enjoy baseball like never before with BetMGM's daily promotions, odds boost specials, and parlay selection features at your fingertips all season long. Sign up today and find out why nothing beats a win at the King of Sportsbooks. Sportsbooks. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. New Jersey only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. There's never been a better time to find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Download the BetMGM app and place a $10 moneyline wager on any NBA playoff game. If either team hits a three-pointer in the game, you'll win $200 in free bets. Just use code JERSEY200 when you make your first bet. Sign up now and discover BetMGM's daily promotions, innovative parlay selection features, boosted odds specials, and more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code Jersey200 to win $200 in free bets if either team hits a three in any NBA playoff game. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. New Jersey only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
RMA of New Jersey Fertility Center is committed to helping you build your family with evidence-based fertility care and a compassionate care team that's with you every step of the way.
You know, when we get to hear the heartbeat at their first ultrasound, it makes me feel humbled every single day that I get to play a small part in that journey.
Our fertility specialists and birth success rates have helped bring home healthy babies to loving families around the world. RMA of New Jersey Fertility Center, building families one healthy baby at a time. Visit RMAnetwork.com.
There's never been a better time to find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Download the BetMGM app and place a $10 moneyline wager on any NBA playoff game. If either team hits a three-pointer in the game, you'll win $200 in free bets. Just use code JERSEY200 when you make your first bet. Sign up now and discover BetMGM's daily promotions, innovative parlay selection features, boosted odds specials, and more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use bonus code Jersey200 to win $200 in free bets if either team hits a three in any NBA playoff game. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. New Jersey only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
Okay, so moving on to some cannabis news. In Tennessee, there was a bill that was intended to kill Delta 8 THC, the quasi-legal cousin to your traditional cannabis products, what some people call diet weed. And what was interesting about this is that they actually had the foresight to, rather than trying to make it illegal, and then, I mean, the after effect of making a drug illegal means that you then have to funnel a lot of money into policing the activity around that drug so that you can stop your, every gas station and head shop from selling this stuff to whoever. And they actually had some foresight to say, why don't we legalize this and tax and regulate it as well? So rather than ban it completely, the amended bill, which has passed through committee, but we'll see if it actually gets legalized in Tennessee, would legalize the sale of Delta 8 to anyone over 21 years old, throw a 5% tax on it, and, of course, other regulations of, like, child-proof packaging and how you can license and sell this stuff, which we know would be an actual money maker. Right? You're adding to your tax base rather than drawing from it in order to enforce something that nobody really wants. That's good news. Doesn't mean shit for traditional cannabis, THC that most people in this country enjoy, not the Delta 8 variety. But it's not only a good sign in that, this is a little bit of progress in an area where we haven't seen progress so much. The South is really slow to catch up to the rest of the nation. But also, it's kind of inspiring that you can, just take legislation that looks completely stupid and just spin it a little bit and come out with something positive. Because it's even the smart move when if your concern is like, this Delta 8 stuff is going to get into kids' hands. Well, yeah, I'd say that's a concern if you're letting people sell it unregulated. Then, yeah, these gas stations will sell to whoever wants to buy whatever. They don't give a fuck. Why would they?
I do have a humorous story involving Delta 8.
Yeah.
So we're down in Macon, right? And I snuck by
down in Macon,
Georgia,
right? For those who
back in March
may not know.
And I brought the one cartridge with me when I traveled, but I only dared to try to bring one. Now that knowing what I know, I would have brought two. But so week one, cartridge is dead. We find a store that's got a green cross on it. Like, oh hey, and it's just it's like they sell Delta H and Delta 9 and all that other crap. And the guy working the counter is right out of Central Casting for working in a head shop. Just looks.
He's got like the drug rug and some white dreads.
Yeah, just looks the part to be working there. And I just ask him like, "Hey man, is this shit any good?" He's like, "Oh yeah, man." I was like, "I got a medical card in Michigan." He's like, "Oh yeah, no." Like, all right, well, thanks for saving me some money.
Yeah. I definitely appreciate that honesty. But yeah, you're like, I've tried real shit.
Yeah, sure. His boss would have been like, "Hey, way to not sell anything, idiot."
Yeah,
but
so we'll see. I know that we've seen a lot of other states try and tackle this Delta 8 thing and all these new derivatives that we're getting. But if Tennessee can have some actual foresight on this and find a way to make money rather than lose money, then I think the rest of the nation will be able to get their shit together.
I think the South as a group's got to be looking at each other like going, huh? This weed thing, huh?
Yeah. What are we going to do?
It's coming for us.
What are we going to do? Circle the wagons and fucking try and hold them off? We'll seal off all of our borders? What the fuck are you going to do?
Like, once it gets to Texas, it's over for the South. Like, dude, the rest of the South is going. I'm telling you, Texas and Florida, that's it. The rest of the South is going to have to.
Wisconsin is considering marijuana legalization as well, although they're kind of split.
They're surrounded. They should. Michigan and Illinois.
Yeah. Well, they've got one faction of Democrats that are supporting kind of a quasi-legalization. I mean, I guess it's legalization, but anything that doesn't allow people to smoke the plant is not going to be considered actual legalization. And I don't know if that's what the side that's going to end up winning, but that's the debate that they're having right now in Wisconsin between people who are backing, programs that look similar to what we see all across the nation of taxing and legalizing all different forms of it for adults to use versus, who is this? Democrat, Felskowski. Mary Felskowski. Oh, I'm sorry. No, she's a Republican. Noted Republican in, let's see, it's in complete red states. It's in complete blue states. It's in purple states. And I don't think that medical marijuana is a partisan issue. This is about a drug. It's not an FDA-approved drug, but it's a drug under a doctor's care that can help people with debilitating diseases. Yeah. Okay, so we're in agreement on that. But, yeah, it says in here, does not allow folks to smoke marijuana and only permits medical pot for a limited range of illnesses.
And what's the range? So, two things.
Well, she does. I guess they left it kind of open so that conditions can be added to it. But still, I mean, look, we've tried that game. Michigan did it forever, and it was a mess. It was an absolute mess. They had to basically scrap their medical program and start over again. So it's useless. What's that going to do to stop it from flooding over the borders from other states? Absolutely nothing. Access to medical marijuana that you can't smoke? The LA Times published an opinion piece by somebody who goes by the name LZ Granderson, talking about Big Pharma won't be happy about marijuana cutting into its profits.
They'll just get into the game. They're right.
Yeah,
the Big Pharma will be like, "Have you tried our weed? It's the shit."
Yeah, but I think the problem there is that the real fear is if people substitute, other pharmaceutical drugs, if they stop doing those and do cannabis, which I'm I'm not saying that you should, or even saying that there are particular drugs that I would recommend, getting off of and using cannabis instead. But if that's the fear from Big Pharma, cannabis has a much lower profit margin than like most pharmaceutical drugs. Like much, much less. Because, obviously we know that these prices are inflated. They're not based on how much it costs to produce and distribute something. It's the cost of research and development is all built into that as well. And I understand why. It's the only way that they can make money. But, they make money with proprietary products. They can't do anything with cannabis to make the actual drug itself proprietary. So it really doesn't. So cannabis, it's not just a question of like, pharmaceutical companies should buy into cannabis and get behind this. It doesn't fit in their business model.
Or they just start putting oxy in the weed.
Yeah. Well, that's what they would have to do, right? So let's say, but why is this Granderson say it's, because he goes on to say, like the first part of the article is basically just about how much influence Big Pharma has over our lawmakers, how much money they take. It's important to point out that just because elected officials accept money from lobbyists doesn't mean they're automatically in anyone's pocket. It's also important to point out that lobbyists don't donate money in hopes of having less influence. Right.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Well, it's sarcasm. Doesn't always work in print. Earlier this month, the House passed the MORE Act, a bill that would approve marijuana from we know this. The last time the bill passed the House, the Senate did not take it up. We know that as well. What's he getting at here, though? This time, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer promised to file his draft legislation in April. Now it says he'll do it in August. But regardless of when it's introduced, it's doubtful 10 Senate Republicans will support the effort. This is why we should be keeping our eyes on the money. Big Pharma was already on red alert with rumblings of price-cutting legislation. Now on the heels of studies that found a drop in prescription drug use among Medicare enrollees with access to medical marijuana comes a report of a similar pattern in recreational usage. So, yeah, they're actually, Big Pharma is seeing these numbers. Well, I guess we'll find out in August.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know how much longer they can push this, right? I think if it gets pushed again, it's dead. And the reason that he said August, that gives them enough time to figure out if he's got the votes. Because as we know, like most legislation doesn't hit the floor until they're sure that they have enough votes to pass it.
To rally the troops.
Yeah. So I'm thinking if they can't, they're either going to know that there's no way that they're getting the votes and they're just going to call the legislation dead and start over again, or they're going to take the vote. But yeah, getting 10 Republicans over to your side with what? I don't know. Who knows how it actually works, but it seems like if you can't do it for things like health care, it'd be hard-pressed to do that for cannabis legalization.
You never know. Some of these guys are older. Maybe they got the glaucoma. Need their medicine on the down low.
That may be true.
Mitch McConnell's really a big head.
But there's a lot of people that voted against gay marriage that had like close family that were gay. Sons and daughters even. And they still voted it down. So it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what happens in their personal life. If they want some weed for their glaucoma, they can get it, they can justify it, and they can still walk into their job the next day and vote to deny everybody else in the country it. And go home and sleep with a clear conscience, because that's the job apparently.
And I'll tell you, that's what their constituents wanted.
A Florida couple served cannabis-laced food to their to all their guests at their wedding reception, which sounds like a great time, unless you don't know that it's in there.
Yeah, they could probably face some criminal charges, huh?
Sounds like it. They've been bonded out of jail, so I would assume that means that charges are filed, right?
Bond. They want you back.
Yeah, right. So if you're bonded out of jail, it means you've got a trial date set. So, found were not found, but charged with tampering, culpable negligence, and delivery of cannabis, of marijuana. This is legal terms. And legally, it's all known as marijuana everywhere, even though that term's racist.
It's true.
But yeah, why would you do that? So several people who said they felt, quote unquote, stoned were taken to the hospital for treatment. I mean,
These people under 30,
yeah,
I think they were being cute.
it was a 42-year-old and a 31-year-old.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, they were younger, but well, I don't know. It's not like they went to a party and got stoned and then went to the hospital because they felt weird. Like they went to a wedding reception and expected probably to feel a little tipsy from the champagne, and then, you know.
Yeah, but what if your wedding, what if your wedding guest is like a truck driver? Like a truck driver, you can't drop dirty. You lose your job.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's insane. It's insane that they would serve it. I mean, first of all, like, how much would this have cost you, right? You'd figure that you would you'd want to identify the cannabis so that you didn't have to put it in fucking everything, unless you just literally thought that this was going to be the best thing ever. Like you were going to like everyone was going to get dosed without their knowledge, and a huge, you know, orgy was going to fucking break out at your reception. It was going to be like in a fucking movie. Rodney Dangerfield is going to show up and whip his shirt off.
Yeah, everyone's going to think it's hilarious, and it's going to be a great story.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be like the end of Saving Grace when she gets the whole town high by burning the weed. And they all have a party and dance in the river and shit, and I don't know. And look at their fingers like they're fucking tripping.
They had to be the only people that knew about this, because if somebody else knew, someone would have had to have stepped up and been like, no, don't do this.
You would think. Yeah,
if not, then your friends are terrible, and you're all a terrible group of people.
Well, I mean, I guess if they just hired Gator and said we're doing all cannabis themed and just lied to them and said that everyone's going to know. But yeah, it's still, it seems.
If I'm the caterer, I'd be like, then you got to sign this piece of paper that says, I told you that I said everyone's going to know.
A detective wrote in the report that guests said they had not been warned about the laced food. One man told deputies he was having a hard time operating his cell phone. Okay, that doesn't really tell us much. We need a baseline. First of all, how old is this dude?
Right.
And how well does he normally operate a cell phone?
Yeah, but also, is he like 64 and's like never done weed ever?
Right. Others said they felt paranoid and high. Yeah. Another guest told deputies after feeling stoned, she asked the bride if cannabis was in the food and was told yes by the smiling bride. Samples of food, including chocolate-covered strawberries, pudding, shot desserts, and lasagna, were collected and later tested positive for THC. So they fucking put it in everything.
Damn.
See, and that's like a major, major problem for everybody. Not just for the 67-year-old man who's never tried pot before. Not just for the 13-year-old who might be at your reception. But for me, the experienced stoner who would like to judge how much he intakes. Right? I mean, what if it's in everything and you just feel like you could end up taking like 300 milligrams and just be totally out of it. There's no scenario. What I'm saying is there's no scenario where anyone who is being dosed without their knowledge has a good time. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, if you gave me a bunch of acid and I didn't know about it,
yeah,
I'd be kind of pissed.
Unless you have like, you know, your significant other or best friend have an agreement where like at some point in the future, just as long as you get me where I don't have to work, I want you to dose me out of nowhere and then we'll just go on an adventure or something like that. But no, even then, probably not advisable.
You know, people like to know when they're being given narcotics.
Yeah, I mean, free weed at your reception? I mean, you had me there. Just, you know, let me know.
Yeah, be like, hey, guess what, everybody? There's some free treat. If you like
but even
weed,
then,
there's a table over here with some treats
with
on
some,
it.
Yeah, just some treats that you can measure. Not in everything, and then I have to guess how much is in the lasagna and how much is in the salad dressing.
Well, they'll be able to talk about their cool wedding in prison.
Well, geez. Do you think they would serve prison time for it? They probably have to pay a fine.
I don't know,
First of all, they sound right.
Yeah, but still, you gave a group of people drugs without them knowing.
Yeah, and also, it's not.
That doesn't
it's not
sound
legal,
like a fine
right?
when you say it out loud.
It's not recreational in Florida.
Yeah,
they have what is still it's better, but still a fairly restrictive medical program. So yeah, they'll probably get slapped with a lot of shit. Serving prison time, though, I don't know. And a lot of people in Florida prisons. They've probably done a lot worse than this.
maybe some time in county.
Yeah. Yeah, they still have to process the guy who had a free Gator rodeo at his wedding reception. Free cocaine Gator rodeo.
Heard that place was packed. Oh, there's a wedding? We're just here for the cocaine Gator rodeo.
Yeah, there's a wedding.
Cocaine Gator rodeo sounds like a punk band.
That is a great. I think that's an album name, actually.
Cocaine Gator rodeo.
Yeah,
definitely from the 70s.
by the Shit Bombs or somebody.
Cocaine Gator. Sounds like the Lost ZZ Top album. It's the album they had before they got famous.
It's Steve Irwin's band,
right? Steve Irwin's death metal band.
Oh, that would be great to have.
And their stick is all songs about getting eaten by an alligator.
Yeah, dude, we should do this. Let's start a metal band. We'll call ourselves Cocaine Gator Rodeo, and we'll all dress in those like khakis like Steve Irwin.
No, and then we just write, it's all songs about Steve Irwin getting eaten by an alligator.
Yeah. They're all about Steve Irwin.
There you go.
All of them.
Oh, there you go. You find episodes. Wait, TM by all this, so you guys can't steal it. TM. You find episodes. You just the songs write themselves. Just every episode of a show is you make a song out of it.
Yeah.
This week we're hunting gators. This week I saw a swordfish. I don't know. You workshop it. Yeah. And then the last album ends with, I get stung by a fucking stingray.
Yeah.
It's the final song.
Yeah, track 12, Stingray. Oh, shit.
Stingray, the final track.
There's an opinion article in the New York Post by Mr. Greg Giangrande. It says, now that cannabis is legal, do I have to hire potheads?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry. This is, well, it's an opinion column, but it's a write-in one. Like people,
Alcohol is legal. I bet you've hired an alcoholic or two.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It says, we have offices in New York and New Jersey. Marijuana sales are now legal in New Jersey. So do I have to hire people who smoke weed in New Jersey too? Can I have different drug testing policies in different locations? I don't know. How would that work between New York and New
business
Jersey?
Advisor, I would tell you I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Your HR department would hate
it's
you.
It's going to look shitty.
Your HR department would go, what the fuck is wrong with you? Do you hate us?
So the response, this says, let me be blunt here. So
hold on.
See, Chris, there's a certain method to rolling up cannabis where people use a cigar wrapper so that you can get a lot of weed in it, and they call those blunts.
Yes.
So that's just if you weren't getting the pun there. All right. Sorry. So you have to hire anyone that you don't. So you don't have to hire anyone that you don't want to. You just can't refuse to hire somebody for a protected reason. Employment laws vary state to state. So yes, you are required to have policies that comply with local laws. That said, in New York and New Jersey, you are not allowed to test for cannabis, either pre-employment or with current employees. You may not take any adverse employment action for use of cannabis outside of work. So, all this absolutely true, right? However, you may take action for use on the job or impaired on the job.
Well, yeah, just like alcohol.
Exactly. How are employers supposed to know if job performance is impaired because of cannabis? Unless you have a video of them rolling a joint and firing it up on the job, good luck. Can you refuse to hire someone because they walk into an interview reeking of cannabis? Good luck. He doesn't answer that one. He just says good luck. I think you can, right?
Yeah, if someone walks and smelling the booze, you can do that.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah. But instead of actually answering that question, he has a non sequitur here. It says, I went for a walk in Central Park to take in some fresh air, hard enough to find in New York City, and now impossible from the cannabis stench. Thank you, legislators. So I don't, like, he has like a factual and honest answer to this person's question, but just can't help but like throw in this dig that means really nothing. Like, really, you can't go anywhere in New York now without smelling cannabis? Really?
Yeah. This guy and Kristi Noem should get together and have hate hard-ons for cannabis together.
We've had legalization for a while here. Chris, you've been to many states that have had various forms of legalization. Every time I step out on the porch,
it's crazy. It smells like a Cypress Hill concert.
Right. No, what I'm saying, like, where do you smell pot?
Oh, everywhere. Every time I step out my door. When I'm on the golf court at 7-Eleven. I can't go Oh, no, wait, nowhere!
Pre-legalization and post-legalization, you smell it in the same places that you always did. Behind the bar, at a concert, behind a restaurant. Everywhere that you would normally smell pot, you would be expected to continue to smell pot. It's not suddenly wafting into the restaurants and drugstores. It's not following you into the grocery store. It's not everywhere in the fucking park. Are you telling me fucking Central Park? What, do they put a dome over it? Are they clam baking in there? How can you fucking smell pot anywhere in Central Park? They'd have to be smoking in the tree behind you. It would have to be a very still day.
Yeah. Potheads don't generally walk around following people smoking.
Yeah.
They stay stationary.
Yeah. When it didn't suddenly mean that I go around smoking it in public. I smoke it in public as much as I did when it was illegal, which means that if I'm going for a late night walk around the block, I'm going to blaze a joint because who's going to fucking know?
You.
But just because it's legal, alcohol is legal. I don't grab a handle of Mohawk and go for a stroll.
Why not?
It's a bad look. That's the only reason. Same reason I wear pants. It's a bad look not to. So, all right. So this episode's name is what? Cocaine.
Cocaine Gator Rodeo.
Gator Rodeo. Or should it be? I think I like the free
Cocaine Gator Rodeo.
Because it makes me think of a sign, like a handwritten sign that somebody put up.
That sounds like a Craigslist ad. Free Cocaine Gator Rodeo. Email me for details.
It also has a nice syncopated rhythm to it, too. Free Cocaine Gator Rodeo.
Be right next to Adam Carolla's Free Cockfight for Raiders
Gator
fans.
Rodeo. I'm sorry, what did you say? I was shouting.
I said it would be right next to Adam Carolla's Free Cockfight for Raiders fans.
Yeah.
Free Cocaine Gator Rodeo. Just arrest everybody in both locations.
Just nuke it.
I guarantee you there'd be some...
Fuck the cost. And for all that paperwork, just nuke both of them.
There's some warrants at the Free Cocaine Gator Rodeo. I guarantee you.
Either way, let's consider it natural selection.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I might show up to something like that.
Let nature take its course.
I might show up to something like that out of pure fascination. Like, free what now?
It's true.
Just to see.
You'd end up you'd rope in a lot of looky-loos.
Yeah. Like, what exactly is happening here?
I didn't want to wrestle a gator. I just wanted to see somebody do it. And unless I'm misunderstanding the syntax of the sign, the Coke is free.
And what? No, the rodeo is free.
Damn it.
You got to pay to... Because, what would it be? You do a bunch of cocaine, and then you try to ride a gator?
Yeah. I think you nailed it.
Well, you'd have
no need to overthink this one.
You'd have to agitate the gator, right?
Well, I say it's fairly self-explanatory.
Because I actually... I don't think I told you this.
My only question is, does the gator get Coke, too?
See, there's how you agitate the gator. I golfed around a bunch of gators a month ago in South Carolina. It was crazy.
Yeah, they won't fuck with you.
Well, no, they're generally docile. They were just chilling, hanging out, taking in the sun.
Yeah,
but yeah, so that's what you give so you got to give the cocaine to the alley. Do you give the rider the cocaine just because? I mean, you got the cocaine there if you're giving it to the alligator, or do you need it all for the gators? Because would a gator need more cocaine than a human to get worked up?
There's the joke for our scene, right? Guy gets roped into the cocaine alligator rodeo because he thinks the coke is free, and so they're getting him ready, and he goes, "When do I get my free coke?" And they say, "Son, you must have misunderstood the rules." And he goes, "Well, the coke's not free?" And he's like, "Oh, coke's not for you. It's for the gator."
Yeah, the rodeo's free.
You're doing this sober.
Yeah.
That's when we zoom in on him. What?
And then he leaves with 7 fingers.
But not only did we lose our trademark on that idea, we just wrote it for somebody.
Right. If I see free cocaine gator rodeo show up on Hulu,
we're cutting you off. No,
2 years.
No more free ideas on this podcast. We're done.
Yeah, if I hear someone at Adam Carolla show talking about their new project, Free Cocaine Gator Rodeo, I'm going to be pissed.
Just mail this podcast to yourself.
Can you email it to yourself? Does that work? No, you need the seal.
Just use your headphone output, record it to a tape, Max L90, put it in the mail. That'll postmark it, and everyone will know that we came up with it.
Actually, no. I think it's actually done through WordPress.
Yeah,
I think because
it's published. Yeah.
I think because we publish it with a copyright.
Well, that's not as funny.
I think it is. So you go.
Stamped, and we out.
Yes. Follow us on the social media on Facebook and like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at the Weedsman420 and go to ChristopherMedia.net. Hit the Amazon button, hit the PayPal button if you want to help us out with a little bit of commerce. And wherever you listen to us, rate us and review us. 1 to 5 stars, that's the scale. You can create a 6. You know, we talk about you. You'd be a legend. You'd be shaking up the industry. But help people find the show by rating us and review us wherever you listen to us. Please and thank you. And you can also stay high.
Stay high.
Thank you. You're welcome, sweetie. Have a good day. The demand for healthcare professionals who deliver both comfort and critical care is growing.
FineNursingSchools.com connected me with an accelerated Bachelor's of Nursing degree program in my area with expanded capacity, so I could complete the program in 16 months. Now I'm on the path to an in-demand career that offers job stability, flexible schedules, competitive pay, and the choice of where to work.
Visit FineNursingSchools.com to begin your journey today.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.